Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Renee, and so for today's video, I'm going to show you how to create this makeup look that I created using the Modern Renaissance eyeshadow palette. So without any further ado, let's get on with the video. Now I'm just applying this face potion, and this will serve as my primer and my moisturizer. So just apply this all over my face using my fingers. And now it's time for the foundation, and the foundation that I'm using is the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD foundation in the shade Fair. Just applying this all over my face again using my fingers, and now I'm blending this all in using my damp sponge. And now it's time for the concealer, and the concealer that I'm using is a NYX Conceal Correct and Contour Palette. I'm just using these two shades, applying it using a flat concealer brush, just placing it where I need to highlight. And now I'm just blending this all in using a sponge, and the sponge that I'm using is the iMagic Beauty Sponges. They are very amazing and affordable. But since I'm not quite satisfied with the other concealer, I'm just applying a tiny bit of this concealer from Loreal. This is on the shade Beige. It's quite dark for me, but it still works fine. It's pretty full coverage and I love it. And now it's time for the powder, and the powder that I'm using is a Detail Makeover translucent powder in the shade loose powder in the shade Natural. So yeah, I'm just applying this all over my face using again that damp sponge. Really further set my face, I'll be using the Nichido 2-Way Cake foundation powder in the shade Oriental. She's an oldie but a goodie. And now it's finally time for the eyes. Now I'm taking raw sienna and applying it all over my eyelids. This will serve as my transition shade. And by the way guys, I'm not using any eyeshadow primer. All I did was set my eyelids using a face powder, and the powder that I used was the Nichido 2-Way Cake foundation powder. And now I'm taking red ochre and applying it where I applied the red sienna shade, and just really meshing those two shades together so that we could avoid any harsh lines. I'm just really taking my time in blending and just really building this color to the intensity that I want. Now I'm taking Venetian Red. This is a very beautiful burgundy-ish, pinkish kind of shade. I don't know how to describe this shade, but it's beautiful. It's very unique. And now I'm just really packing this in my eyelids. I don't want to take it too high, just really focusing it on the lid area. Now I'm taking these two shades together because I think Venetian Red is a bit too pink in my opinion. So I took these two shades so that I could achieve the color that I want. Now I'm taking a clean brush to diffuse the edges of my eyelids so that we could have more of a seamless and blended look. In the same order, I took those three shades that I used earlier and applied it on the lower lash area of my eyes. And since I want it to be a little smoky, I took that darker brown shade on the upper top area of the palette so that I could achieve of a chocolate brown kind of smoky eye, if you know what I mean. And now it's finally time for some lashes, and the lashes are huge, but they look amazing. They look really I don't know, like the individual I just don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it looks beautiful. And now it's time for some eyeliner, and the eyeliner that I'm using is the Power Stay eyeliner from AVON. This is a rich brown shade, and I love it. This is the first time that I actually owned a brown eyeliner. I know, shocker, but I love it. It's beautiful and it stays very long on the eyes. It took me a very long time removing this eyeliner, and for 199 pesos. It's worth it, you guys. Really, really worth it. So I took some of that Cypress Amber eyeshadow from the same palette and just really smoke up that under eye area. And now it's time for some highlighter. And the highlighter that I'm using is the Fenty Beauty Killawat highlighter on the shade Hustla Baby and Mean Money. So first I took Hustla Baby, but since it's a bit too gold and it kind of doesn't tie it up with the look that I was going for, in the end I mixed those two shades together and it brightened up my eyes and it looks beautiful. It's really amazing how this small step could change your makeup look drastically. Just a tiny bit of highlighter in your tear dot area and then in your brow bone, and your eyes will look much bigger and much more alive. And now it's time to focus the rest of the face. Today I'll be using the F.S Contouring Palette. I'll be taking these two shades together and apply it on the hollows of my face. As you can see, I kind of messed up right there. But actually this powder is really amazing because it's not that pigmented. So it's kind of its charm, because if the powder is too pigmented, it's gonna clung into your face and just really mess up the entire look, if you know what I mean. Because if the powder is not that pigmented, it means that you could really build the color that you want, the intensity that you want. So that's why I prefer sheerer powder. To balance out my face, I'm taking this brightening powder and placing it on my under eyes, on my chin, the sides of the center of my nose, and on my forehead, you know, where I usually would highlight. And since I am not blessed enough to have a beautiful nose, I'll be reconstructioning my nose using a brown powder from that same palette. So, wish me luck. To give color back to my face, I'll be using this blush palette from e.l.f. This is the light version of the palette. And I must say, I'm very excited to use this palette because it's the first time that I actually used it. And I kind of like it. It's decent. But, I don't know. I still have to, use it a couple of times for me to say that, I'm really happy of its performance. But so far, so good. And now, finally, my favorite part, the glow. I've been really wanting to own this highlighter for a very long time, and now I finally get the chance to play with it. And I must say, it really is an amazing highlighter. It doesn't emphasize any of my pores and any of my skin texture. I really, really love it so much, and it really is an amazing highlighter. And finally, the lips. For today, I'll be using the Careline Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is on the shade Upper Hand. This is a very beautiful burgundy vampy lips. It really is a beautiful shade. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Kumani? Di ba niya ako ang shade?